this season of Barbecue Pit Masters. All stars. Be the best, you gotta be the best.
You know, the United States of America was the greatest country before Trump, and it's the greatest country now after Trump. The white supremacists want to go back. They want to go back to the days when it was legal to own slaves.
You are about to be entertained by the ape, the young man who has become a legend in his own time. You must answer. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Alrighty. Welcome back, everybody. It's Ron Kelly Show. And it's on blogtalkradio.com, the RonKellyShow.com. Man, just came back from vacation. I was away all this week. I left Saturday. And a wonderful time was had by all. 80 degrees every day. 80 degrees every day. Had a good time. And boy, I'm telling you, the delays, I mean, now it's not a good time to fly because of delays. Because I was on United going down there, and I took JetBlue coming back, and the delays were just unbelievable. But anyway, made it back safe. No, not too much turbulence. Made it back safe and feeling pretty good. I had a nice week on vacation, and so I wasn't here yesterday, but I'm going to do the show today because it's Friday. April 21st or 22nd, I should say, 2022. So welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. It's Ron Kelly Show, and it's on blogtalkradio.com. So, I pride myself on saying what I really want to say. I mean, I try to, use a filter, and I try to, filter it out and everything. And I try to not be too harsh because I'm a realist, I'm a realist, and I've been hard on myself. So it's not just that I'm hard on other people. I've been hard on myself too, because what it is what it is. I mean, I understand the, positive vibes and thinking positively. I understand all of that, but it's reality is reality. And this is the pop-up show. I didn't warn anybody. I didn't tell anybody. I think the carrier did put it on Facebook, and I didn't tell anybody I was going to be on the show today. But boom, here I am, the Ron Kelly Show. So getting back to what I was saying, I keep it. We try to keep it real. I try to keep it real, and again, I get the positive vibes and think positively and stuff like that. But that's not always going to save you. Thinking positively is not always going to get you where you're trying to go. Now, it does help. It does help to think positively. But in the meantime, you have to keep it real and face, and face whatever it is that you're facing. You got a mountain in front of you and you got to climb it. Like, okay, I can think positive, but I still got to climb this mountain. Years ago, my mom, God bless her, no longer here. I was very young, a teenager still. And, my mom had 8 children, and there was no man in the house. So she wasn't able to. Oh, hello, Joanne Jackson. Hey, what's up, my sister? How you doing? Joanne Jackson joining the program. And so I was very young, and my mother, we had a house on Storms Avenue, Jersey City. Any Jersey City people out there? We had a house on Storms Avenue in Jersey City. 112 Storms Avenue, as a matter of fact, between Bergen and Monticello. And, we had some troubles, and my mom wasn't able to pay the mortgage, and we didn't know that the mortgage wasn't being paid. We didn't know. And my mom, she was a big-time believer in God. We grew up in the church. I had to go to church every Sunday, et cetera, et cetera. And so my mom was a big believer in church. God's going to fix it. Now, we didn't know that the mortgage wasn't being paid. We had no idea. But my mom would pray that God would step in and save the house from being foreclosed on. And, unfortunately, that didn't happen. The house was foreclosed on. So, so my point is that if, you have to put some effort behind whatever it is that you're praying for. My mom used to say, I'm not picking on my mom. I love my mom. And she used to say, oh, if I ever hit the lotto, I'm going to take care of all my kids. I was, well, Mom, you don't play. I mean, you can't win if you don't play. So, so I believe in keeping it real, and I am hard on myself. But I know people kind of look at me like, man, you're so hard. Shout out to the people on Twitter who are watching the Ron Kelly Show. Thank you so much, YouTube and Facebook Live. And so, my mom, and not just my mom, but people kind of think that they can pray. And I'm not knocking on Christianity or religion or anything like that. No, not at all. I'm not knocking on it. But you got to do something to help things along. Like God helps those who helps themselves. So, so subsequently the house was repossessed. The house was sold. It was our house, the very first house my mother ever owned, was foreclosed on. My mom, and we didn't know, again, that she wasn't paying the mortgage, but she was praying. And she really believed that God would come along and save our home. But it didn't turn out that way. God didn't come and save our home. That home was foreclosed on by the Hudson County Sheriff's Department. And they came with two big, two of those humongous, those two big moving vans, the real big ones, the humongous ones that you can fit a whole house in. And they took everything out of the house. So I came home one day from work. I think I was like maybe 19, and there was a big padlock on the door. There was a big padlock on the door. So I found myself in that moment being homeless. Okay, I think I was 18, 19. And the prayer didn't save our home. Prayer did not save our home. Now, I'm not saying that nobody should pray, but, my mom held a vigil. She used to stay in her room all the time after work. And she held a vigil and prayed that God would come along and save our house. God did not come along and save our house. As a matter of fact, again, the house was repossessed. So my point is that, you can have all the positive thoughts and you can pray, all you want. And God does make things happen. Absolutely. I'm healthy. I've been healthy. I hear about people. Somebody was telling me about another person they knew had to have their bladder removed. So you know what that means? That they're going to be with the colostomy bag for the rest of their life. There's so much suffering going on. So I thank God that I'm healthy and there's nothing really wrong with me that I know of. And I'm thankful for that. But on the same token, I have to go to the doctor. I have to get checked out. I have to go get my Lifeline screening where they screen you for carotid artery, and they screen you for blocked arteries, aortic aneurysm, glucose issues, all of that stuff. So while I'm glad, and I do believe that God is helping me. God is blessing me with good health. I still have to monitor my health. So I can't just not do anything. I still have to monitor my health. And I've been doing this radio show for some time now. It's been going on for a while. And and if I've asked for every person that came on the show and did the show, there was maybe 2 or 3 of them who didn't. And I don't have a problem with somebody, doesn't want to do the show. I mean, just a little engine, it could. We got a few thousand listeners and viewers. The show is growing incrementally, but it's growing. And I don't mind if somebody doesn't want to do the show. you know, because there's some controversy behind the Ron Kelly show, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And, you know, politicians or whatever may feel like the Ron Kelly show is going to hurt them. So they don't come on the show. But see, my thing is if you don't want to come on the show, just tell me like, hey, listen, man, I don't think it'd be a good idea for me to come on your show. All right, fine. My feelings are not going to be hurt. I mean, will I be a little disappointed? Sure. But my feelings are not going to be hurt if you don't come on the show. My problem is that when you don't tell me, you know, I give you the information and you don't respond. That's what I have the problem with. Because if you don't want to come on the show, hey, listen, man, you know, hey, Ron, I like you, man, you know, but your show was a little, you know, off the color or whatever the case may be, because it is. I want it to be that way. And instead of them just saying, I'm not going to come on the show, like what they'll do is they just won't show up to the, you know, and you don't have to be nowhere. All you have to do is I send you the link, you log in, you can be home in your pajamas or whatever, and you can do the show from wherever you are. And what bothers me, because like I said, it doesn't bother me that somebody doesn't want to come on the show. That doesn't bother me because I get it. This is show business, I understand. But tell me, hey, man, I don't want to come on your show. Okay. But don't take all the information and promise to be here and then disappear. And it didn't happen this week. I mean, it's happened plenty of times over the years. And I'm not venting or anything like that. But this is for anybody who listens to the Ron Kelly show, anybody who knows. If you don't want to come on the show, just say, hey, man, I don't want to come on your show. It's not going to kill me, you know, because there's other people who do want to come on the show. So that's the thing that bothers me. When you take my information and you say you're going to come on the show and then you don't call me, because I'm always ready for, just in case somebody doesn't come on the show. I'm always ready for that. I always have a plan B because it happens, you know. But there's people on Facebook. I could name names, but I'm not going to. You know, who have been on MSNBC and they've been on some other shows. They've been on MSNBC, maybe they've been on CNN or whatever like that. So the Ron Kelly show is just like, what, you know, it's the little engine that couldn't. And they don't want to come on my show when they've been on CBS and they don't, not anymore. I haven't seen them on there in years. But people will take my information and then just not show up, and that's disrespectful to me. You know, that's disrespectful. I mean, if you're not going to come on the show, hey, man, you know, I don't, for whatever your reason might be, I don't want to come on your show. That's fine, because I don't accept offers from other people to go on their shows. Sometimes, but I tell them, like, look, man, listen, you know, I appreciate the offer, but I don't think that I can come on your show. You see, because I'm not going to perpetrate a fraud to the people who listen to the Ron Kelly show. And I know some of y'all get pissed off at some of my posts and stuff like that, but I'm keeping it real. Unless you want somebody to lie to you, I keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Albert Vega, my brother, says, yes, we have to take care of ourselves. No one else is. Blessings, my brother. Absolutely. Joanne Jackson says, yes, you do have to take care of yourself. It's been a year today that I had triple bypass. Good Lord. Triple bypass surgery. I thank God for my good health. And I thank God for your good health too, Joanne Jackson. I appreciate you, Albert Vega, my brother. I don't know if Albert's still doing the mix show. I haven't seen him on in a while. I think Facebook, you know, crashed down on him or something like that. But love you, brother, Albert Vega. Check out his page. You can see where he's going to be at. The DJ's DJ, Albert Vega. Because nobody, because, you know, you got a lot of people who perpetrated fraud. And it's not just about Facebook, but there's so many people perpetrating a fraud, especially on Facebook. I mean, I don't care. I mean, do I care if you like me? I kind of care when it comes to my radio show. But other than that, I mean, because what am I going to get from perpetrating a fraud from you? What am I going to get? How's it going to help me? It's not going to help me. It's not going to help me. So I keep it real with people. And I know some of y'all, you know, you read my texts about avatars and stuff like that. I don't like avatars. You know, I think it's ridiculous. But because it's a cartoon. And I don't like avatars. But people do it. But I have the right to say that I don't like it. And it's not against anybody personally. I just don't like avatars. You know, because I don't run with the herd. I run away from the herd. Because guess what? When you see a herd, all you see is the herd. You don't see like if you just, let's say there's a herd of buffaloes running, you know, from the jaguars down in the jungle in Africa, the buffalo are running. See, all you see is the herd. You see a big bunch of buffaloes running. And yeah, you see a big bunch. So I run away from the herd because I don't want to be like everybody else. You know, I look at this is my hat. My hat has my name on the side. It says R. Kelly. And we all know it's a situation with R. Kelly, but that's R. Kelly. That's not me. That's my name. That's my name. My name is R. But what my friends call me R. Kelly, they don't call me that because I mess around with underage girls, because I don't mess around with underage girls. You know, but I just try to keep it real. And I wish more people would be like that. I mean, keep it real with me. Even if you think it's going to hurt my feelings, keep it real with me. So at least I know where you're coming from. You know, and there's so many frauds being perpetrated like on Facebook. And I say this, even though my show is on Facebook Live, but it's on YouTube as well. It's on Twitter as well. You know, my Twitter handle. So, you know, keep it real. See, I sleep well at night because I keep it real. I don't be lying to nobody. You know, females, whatever the case may be, I keep it straight with them. Albert Vega says, keep it real, my brother, because nobody else said, right, 100%. I mean, tell me the truth. Don't hand me a bunch of bullshit. Tell me the truth. Tell me, even if you think it's going to hurt my feelings, tell me the truth. Whatever you think about me, you can say it, because guess what? That's going to help me. That's going to help me. Albert Vega says he doesn't have an avatar either. Yeah, because avatars are nonsense. But that's just my thought. Now, if somebody else said avatars were nonsense, I would still keep doing my avatar, and I wouldn't let what other people say bother me. And I don't let what other people say bother me. I don't. And this is the Hate Avatar show. Joanne Jackson says, yes, I love listening to your show. If I didn't, I wouldn't listen to it because it's freedom of speech. You speak what you want. And if they don't want to listen, turn it off. But absolutely. Thank you, my sister. Thank you. I love me some Joanne Jackson. Thank you, my sister. And see, and I don't know Joanne personally, so that's really, really special. Suzanne Newman says, Facebook said the Ron Kelly show is live. I wait, what the F, it's Thursday. No, it's Friday, right? Because, you know, you lose track of time when you're on vacation, you know, because you don't have to get up. You have really no obligations. You know, I was in Georgia. I was in Florida. 80 degrees every day, people. 80 degrees. Suzanne Newman says, okay, it's Friday. I'm happy. Yeah, it's Friday. But, you know, I just felt like I wanted to come on the radio show. Suzanne Newman says, I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're back too, darling. Because I just love me some Suzanne Newman, Joanne Jackson, Albert Vega. You're my people. You know, 19 minutes past the hour. Yeah, so just keep it real. Because I can't be, you know, I mean, whoever you are, be that. Don't perpetrate a fraud or don't try to, you know, because I know because somebody else knows you. Just like people know me. And people know me outside of Facebook. So they know how, because they got to know I'm lying. Because they know me. Thank you, Albert Vega, my brother. Albert Vega and I, we go a long way back. He's my dude. We go way back several years, Albert Vega and I. But thank you, my brother. Love you, man. Yeah, so just keep it real. Keep it effing real. Because, you know, tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. And yeah, and Albert Vega will call me on my ish. Yes, he will. Okay, anyway, everybody, it's about 20 minutes past the hour. Take a quick break. Surprise! The Ron Kelly Show is here on a Friday. So we'll take a quick break and we'll come right back with more of the program. It's the Ron Kelly Show, everybody, and it's on blogtalkradio.com, the RonKellyShow.com, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. We'll be back in just a second. Don't you go anywhere. Alrighty, then we are back, everybody. 21 minutes past the hour. We are back. It's the Ron Kelly Show, my peoples, and it's on Facebook Live. It's on YouTube Live, and it's on Twitter Live. So welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me on a Friday. It's a pop-up show. They have those pop-up stores. They have a pop-up store here and there. Well, this is the pop-up Ron Kelly Show. So Joanne Jackson says, I'm the same whenever you see me. I don't change you. I don't change either. Love me or live. Yeah, absolutely. Be you. Because there's so many people perpetrating the frauds on Facebook. And you know who you are. I don't have to say it. And I'm not, I'm not trying to get on anybody or make anybody feel bad. But, there's things that people, and how do I know about this? Because I used to be that way. I want, because this is cancel culture, people being politically correct. This is the time. This is the time, and nobody wants to say anything. Who I am on the radio is who I am, otherwise. Who I am on the radio is who I am otherwise. I love my brother. I just love about my brother, Bunny McKnight, who's probably wasn't expecting me to be on the show today, Bunny McKnight, because he says what's on his mind, and you can't sugarcoat stuff for people. You can't always do that, So, and I'm not sugarcoating nothing for nobody. Now, do I recognize that people have feelings? Yes. I do recognize that people have feelings. I do, So do I think about what I say before I say it? Yes, it still might come out a little harsh, but hey, be real with me, because I don't expect anything less. If I'm going to be the way I am toward others, then you can be the way you can be how you are toward me. I can handle it. So I've decided to not host any shows with political people who are running for office, not during the time they run for office. Maybe once they get there, I'll bring them on. But I just because, like I said, if I offer you the opportunity to be on my show, and I know this ain't BLS and this ain't MSNBC or some of the other major market radio shows. I know this is not that. I mean, I'm not. I'm fully aware of where the place that the Ron Kelly Show occupies in the media world, and it's as little engine they could. We got several thousand people, and they're all over the country. But it's a show where it should be. No, and it's that's my fault. It's my fault that the show isn't where it should be. Because I tell you, if I had time, like during the day, to build my brand, I would be, Steve Harvey's not going to be around forever. So you see what happened with, some of these guys, Ken Webb, and some of them are no longer on the radio. So those positions are just waiting. Okay. So so like I was saying earlier about having, about praying You know, because some people feel like they got that what their belief system is has to be impressed on somebody else. I mean, for what? I mean, nobody cares. You know, nobody cares whether you were whether you went to church back in the day and now you don't. Nobody cares. You know, nobody cares. Somebody asked me, "Hey man, did you put any pictures on Facebook?" No, I ain't put no pictures on Facebook. And none of your business where I was. You know what I'm saying? For what? Because I don't care. When I see other people's vacation pictures on Facebook, I zoom right past it because I'm not interested. You know, and I feel like people are probably not interested in where I was or what I did. So I don't post pictures about my vacation. You know, whatever. When you post pictures about your vacation, you say how it looks. I can afford to go here. You know, who are you posting the pictures for? You or to impress somebody else? You see, whatever. You know, and Lamont Gates says Ken Webb. Yeah, I used to listen to Ken Webb when I was a teenager. You know, and as a matter of fact, Lamont Gates, appreciate you checking in. And Frankie Crocker was my hero back in the day. Frankie Crocker and Chuck Leonard, because Chuck Leonard had a really deep voice like I do. And Chuck Leonard, who passed away years ago, Chuck Leonard, who was on BLS years ago. So, yeah, Ken Webb. Yeah, I used to love Ken Webb. I used to love those guys. Yeah, Albert Vegas is WB. Like, yeah, I used to love Ken Webb and those guys. And I used to listen to, see, I didn't just listen to the radio back in the day. I studied radio. I didn't just listen to it. As a matter of fact, I went to school for radio and television. Shout out to my peoples, my fellow graduates at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, which I attended in 2016. Learned a lot over there, how to produce. School for radio and television only. And I had to pay for my tuition. It was $13,000. I had to pay out of my pocket to go to school for radio and television, but it was worth it. I learned a lot. Shout out to my people who, and if you ever see a guy on, he posts a lot of pictures. I'm not sure what his job is, but he was in my class. And I can't think of his name right now. Brian Sullivan. Yeah, that's his name, Brian Sullivan. So if you ever see Brian Sullivan on Facebook, give him a shout. He's going around to the Emmys. I'm not sure what he does. But he was in my class, and he's working behind the scenes. He's not a frontline performer, but he's working behind the scenes. So shout out to you. BS1, we used to call him. Anyway, it's 28 minutes past the hour. So yeah, so this is the good time to travel. I would advise anybody not to travel right now because they don't have enough pilots, first of all, and the delays are incredible. Now, I was supposed to be on the plane yesterday. 9:23, my flight was supposed to leave. Okay, but I did get an email. Now, they're quick to tell you the flight's delayed. They'll give you hours in advance notice. I'll give them a plus for that. And I wound up not even getting on the plane until almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm sitting there from all that time because even if the plane is delayed, you still have to show up at the time that you're supposed to go. You're still supposed to show up at the time you're supposed to be there, just in case they change it back. They might say the plane's delayed, and oh, you know what? The plane's not delayed. So, man, I'm telling you, this is not a good time. Not a good time to be flying. You know what? For 41 years, minority-owned Amaker & Porterfield Transportation has provided safe, clean, reliable transportation to and from your destination. Amaker & Porterfield Transportation provides service to schools, churches, and medical transportation as well. Licensed to operate by the state of New Jersey. Department of Transportation, their late model fleet of buses and vehicles will make sure you get to and from your destination safely, and the courteous drivers will see to your needs during your transportation experience. Like if you got to pull the bus over so everybody can go to the bathroom. They are located at 307 Arlington Avenue in the great city of Plain, Queen City, they call it, of Plainfield, New Jersey. So you can give him a call, 908-753-6423. That's 908-753-6423. Or you can email him. It's amaker.porterfield@verizon.net. That's amaker.porterfield@verizon.net. And reach out to my crew, my office crew down at minority-owned Amaker and Porterfield Transportation. So it's tax time, man. It's tax time. So if you didn't file by now, you're late. So I never did talk about the Will Smith because it was all over the place. Yeah, I'm like, why do I want to talk about it? Because everybody's talking about the Will Smith smack on Chris Rock. And people have asked me, what do you think of what happened? And I kind of, skip over it. But I got to put Joanne Jackson back up here. I love that, Joanne Jackson. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And stay and be well. Stay well. Yeah. So yes, I opened the show. I was talking about my mother and how she depended on God for everything. Pray. And I guess now I'm not saying to anybody that that you shouldn't pray, but you got to take action. If you're going to pray, you have to take some action. So anyway, I was talking about, because people have asked, because they know I'm on the radio, yada, yada, Ron, what do you think about? And I really didn't think much about it because, I thought it was ridiculous. I never would have went up there and smacked the guy. But you see, my whole issue was that he laughed. Will Smith laughed at the joke. And then when he saw that old girl was pissed off about the joke, that's when he went up there and he smacked Chris Rock in the face. And what did I think? I wouldn't have done that. But I think Will Smith is a wuss. I think he's a puppet on a string. That's what I think. Because he laughed. Now, I know he heard the same joke everybody else heard, and he laughed. And then when he saw old girl was pissed off, that's when he ran up there. Biggest mistake ever, And see, I saw a post on Facebook or somewhere that said that he's getting a lot of offers to do movies. And it is two sides to this. There's the Will Smith supporters. And then there's my phone is ringing. It's the Will Smith supporters. And then there's the Chris Rock supporters, which I am a supporter of Chris Rock. I always because I like both of them. I like Will Smith for his movies. And I love Chris Rock for his jokes. Because Chris Rock, when he's not like, I'm not the biggest like Kevin Hart fan. Not the biggest Kevin Hart or, some of these other people, Earthquake and some of these other folks. More power to them, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm not the biggest fan of theirs. But I like Chris Rock. I like Eddie Murphy's stand-up. I like because we laugh out of identification. That phone makes you look like you're doing a telethon. Actually, I am, Lamont. Actually, I am doing a telethon. And if you want to send some money, you can. I'll give you my Cash App, and you can send like whatever I can get, so I can get a new pair of headphones. Anyway, it's 34 minutes before the hour. And it's the Ron Kelly Show. Coming to you live on Facebook, on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitter Live. So, all right, you know what I'll do? I'll take a quick break, everybody, and I'll come back. And I'll come back with more of the program. It's the Ron Kelly Show, my folks. And it's on blogtalkradio.com, the Ron Kelly Show. Who.com. You know, the United States of America was the greatest country before Trump, and it's the greatest country now after Trump. The white supremacists want to go back. They want to go back to the days when it was legal to own slaves.
You are about to be entertained by the ape, the young man who has become a legend in his own time. You must answer. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
So what's good in the hood, everybody? It's the Ron Kelly Show on a Friday because I was traveling. I was tired. Traveling yesterday. So what's up, my people? It's the Ron Kelly Show on a pop-up Friday. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me. So Ron Kelly Show telethon. What's my Cash App? Because I don't get money. I'm always sending it. I'm going to send you my Cash App, Lamont, and you can send me some money. Because actually, I am doing a telethon. I'm hoping that somebody like you will feel sorry for me, and you already know I can have whatever kind of headset I want. But if it makes you happy, you know, to crack a joke on me, I can handle it. 24 minutes before the hour. So there's a lot going on, you know, this cancel culture that we're going through where you can't say anything. You can't go against the grain, you know, and I'm always going against the grain. And, you know, and it's on Facebook too, where people won't say what they really think. There's a handful of folks who do. Chucky Samad, who I don't know personally, Bunny McKnight. There's some folks that I, you know, who I see on my, you know, on my news feed that say whatever's on their mind. And I applaud those people. I applaud those folks who say what's on their mind. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I have to say what's on my mind. I don't want to, and I know, you know, see, we're in this cancel culture right now. We're in this where people, we're in this cancel culture, and we, you know, and right now people are trying to be politically correct, not just politically correct, but culturally correct. You know, and people are not saying what's really on their mind. They're saying what they think everybody else wants to hear. So you got thousands of millions of people on Facebook and other social media sites who are not saying what's really on their mind because of what backlash they think they're going to get. You know, just like the LGBTQ community for a second here, which is much maligned these days. And the governor of Florida is on a rampage against the LGBTQ community, you know. And I said something. I used to have a support team, Creative Blitz, who used to work for me behind the scenes. You know, I actually, so what happened was, no thanks, Lamont, that's fine. I'll handle it. And you're right, I do need some more headphones. You see, because I'm not thin-skinned like that. You know, because some people would have got pissed off at that. But, you know, when you dish it out, you got to take it too. So, yeah, so you know, regarding the LGBTQ community, for example, see. Now, just because you don't agree with something doesn't mean that you are a hater. Because that's the association that we have today with stuff we don't particularly like. You know, So if you're a person who believes in traditional marriage, man, woman, have the kids, and you don't believe in gender reassignment surgery and men wanting to be women and taking estrogen and growing boobs, and women who get the fat taken out of their breasts and they take testosterone so they can grow a beard. If you don't agree with that, it doesn't mean that you're a hater or anti-Semite or a racist. It doesn't mean that. You just don't agree with it. So these days, when you don't agree with something, and I don't agree with that, I think a woman's body is desecrated when they have surgery to remove the fat from their breasts, you know, and they grow beards and chest hair. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. You know, I don't agree that men should, you know, take estrogen and grow breasts and take, you know, hormones and stuff like that. I don't agree with that. But I don't hate the people who do it. I just don't agree with it. You know, I'm a traditionalist and I like women's breasts. You know, so every time they remove their breasts, you know, oh man, really? So yeah, so I may be against because you're always going to be whatever you were born as, you're always going to be. So if you were born a woman, you can get your breasts removed. They can, you know, do gender reassignment surgery, which isn't going to work like what we have as men. It's not going to work the same way. And you can do that. And I'm not saying that you can't do it, you know, and I'm not saying necessarily because I just don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. You know, I just don't agree with it. But these days, if you don't agree with something, it means you're a hater. That means, you know, that you're a racist, you know, because like, for example, let's say you move into a neighborhood, you're African-American, you move into a neighborhood where everybody is white. Now, can somebody not want to live next door to you without being a racist? Can a white person, I mean, they're not paying your garage door and they're not doing anything to your car, but can somebody not want you there? Can somebody not want you there and not be a racist? Because let's say you as an African American, a skinhead family moving next to you. Now you ain't gonna want them there. I know I wouldn't want them there because they're skinheads, and I wouldn't want them there. Or they're bikers or whatever the case may be. I wouldn't want them there disturbing it. But that doesn't mean that I'm a racist. You know. So with the LGBT, now some things are done with hate. I think that Governor DeSantis of Florida is doing what he's doing with hate. He's not, because he's taking it too far, you know. Now, I'm not saying he has to accept what's going on, but like I said, I you know, and I don't hate anybody for what they do, but I just don't agree with it. But I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to be in the next parade hating on the LGBTQ community. I just don't agree with men trying to be women and women trying to be men, because you're always going to be a woman. You know, you can remove your breasts and grow a beard and chest hair and dress like a dude and wear your Timbs with the strings hanging off, but you're still going to be a woman. You're never, ever, ever going to be a man. Never. You're always going to have ovaries and fallopian tubes, and unless you get that stuff taken out too. Yeah, like I said, I just don't agree with it. But I don't say that, you know, I mean, if I was a governor, I wouldn't pass any laws for LGBTQ people not to do anything. I just don't agree with it. That's it. I just don't agree with it. That's all. You know, but these days, you can't not agree with something and not be the worst scumbag on the face of the earth. So again, I don't be you, whatever it is. Just because I don't agree with it doesn't mean that you can't do it. But as far as the LGBTQ community, do I agree with everything they do? No. I grew up, as a man and a woman in the house, have the kids, not two men raising a kid, But like I said, if they do it, that's on them. That's on them. Anyway, one more quick break. It's 15 minutes before the hour. One more quick break on a Friday. And we'll see you back here in just a second. It's the Ron Kelly Show, everybody, and it's on blogtalkradio.com, the Ron Kelly Show. Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
What's up, everybody? It's the Ron Kelly Show. The guy with the old headphones. And it's on blogtalkradio.com. It's also on Facebook Live. It's on YouTube Live. And it's on Twitter Live as well. Welcome back, everybody. 13 minutes before the hour on a pop-up Ron Kelly Show on a Friday. It's April 22nd, 2022. Boy, the time is flying by so fast. Wow. 2022. Peace be upon my stepdaughter who transitioned, as they say, last week, Candace Tucker. She was only 39 years old. She was 39 years old. She was just a couple of days before her 40th birthday. You see, so because you can't I'm young. You know how we used to do, I'm young and I'm going to be around forever. No. I'm not just speaking about my stepdaughter in particular. But I remember, when I was young, and I used to think man, I'm never going to, we never thought about getting old. We didn't think about dying when you were 17, 18. And I used to run, and I could hear the air going past my ears. Those days are over with. I can still run, but there's no air going to be whizzing past my ears. But, time moves on, and that's something we're all gonna. My brother just passed away last month. And I started out. I had 5 brothers, and now I only have 1 brother. Because three of my brothers are deceased, and death is something that I wouldn't say I'm afraid of it, but death is something that we're all going to have to deal with ourselves personally. Not that somebody else died, but we all have an expiration date, in other words. And one day we're not going to be here anymore. 12 minutes. 12 minutes past the hour. Head over to the cigar bar a little bit later on. But it's the Ron Kelly Show on Friday. Shouts to my friend Suzanne Newman. Thank you so much, Suzanne, who says she's glad I'm back. Thank you so much, Suzanne Newman. Suzanne Newman, I need 20 million more Suzannes and Joannes and Alberts. No Lamonts. But and the Ron Kelly Show would be on its way. But we're going to get there. We're going to get there. You see, because doing this show, I understand why, my show is not the top rated Apple podcast. I understand it because that's because of me. It's not because the show is no good. I could use some producers and some behind the scenes people. have a production meeting every week so we can figure out what we're gonna. Yeah, that would be lovely. But in the meantime, even though I'm praying and doing all the stuff everybody else does, in the meantime, I still have to. In the meantime, I still have to do the show. Because some days I don't want to do the show. And some days I'm, like, wow, there's only 8 people on the feed. I don't know how many people are on there totally, because Facebook doesn't tell you that. But there are times where I've been disappointed. And there are times when I just didn't feel like doing the show. There's times I wanted to quit. Say, you know what? This is never going to get anywhere. I'm wasting my time. So I'm not going to do this radio show anymore. But whenever I feel like that, I get the Joanne Jacksons and the Alberts and the Suzanne Newmans and even the Lamont Gateses. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe you can just keep going a little while longer. See, because y'all, the people who listen to this show, even though there might be just a handful on Facebook, well, actually, I really don't know how many are on Facebook. But for the ones who do respond to me, you keep me going. Y'all keep me going. So Suzanne Newman, I'm glad you're back. Joanne Jackson, I love listening to your show. That's the stuff that keeps me going. That's the stuff that keeps me going. Because if it wasn't for that, I might just say, you know what, I'm tired of this crap. I ain't doing this shit no more, But you guys who listen to the Ron Kelly show, and the people on YouTube, and there ain't a lot of people on YouTube, who listen to my show, but for the ones who do, and it can be discouraging. It can be discouraging. But when you see messages like Joanne Jackson, I love to listen to you, because I'm not on here. I was hoping that I could get a job on the radio, and I probably could if I had more time, or if I devoted more time to my radio show. I probably could be in a better position I am in now. But I'm not where I want to be because of me. It's not because of anybody else, or because the show is bad or anything like that. Because I've seen a lot of other shows and I've heard a lot of other people talking. And anyway, it's 7.5 minutes before the hour on a pop-up Friday. It's April 22nd. Just getting back from vacation, everybody. Left out of Newark last Saturday night. And I arrived at my destination. I guess I was in Atlanta and I was in Florida too on Sunday. And I had a great week. I had a really good week. Because the temperature was in the 70s and 80s every day, not like up here, cold ass Jersey, New Jersey, where the weather stinks and the traffic sucks. And I'm just a New Jersey hater. That I will admit. I'm just a New Jersey hater, everybody. Because even right now, let me take a look. Even right now, because when because I didn't even have a coat. I took a coat. I had a jacket on. When I went to the airport, I had a jacket on. But once I got where I was going, no jacket, it's 61 degrees. Okay, that's not bad. 61 degrees. It was 70. Okay, well, that's not too bad. Not too bad. Anyway, 7 minutes before the hour. So, yeah. So, again, you guys, I need your comments. You know what I mean? Albert Vega says, keep doing what you're doing, my brother. You moving them. Thank you, brother. See, those are the things that keep me going. Because there's times, anybody in the entertainment business, for example, or any business, if you try to sell stuff, if you're trying to produce a radio show, you're trying to get listeners, and I get people all the time that hit me up on LinkedIn. Watch yourself on LinkedIn. Because there's scoundrels everywhere. So if you're a LinkedIn person like I am, watch yourself. Albert Vega says, keep doing what you're doing, my brother. You'll be moving up in this game. And I'm sure I want to thank you, brother. Thank you. See, those are the people, Albert and Suzanne, because you could be doing something else besides listening to little old me, Joanne Jackson. So I appreciate you. And people, and people, I understand people move on. I feel like that DJ also. Yeah, because there's a lot of DJs. Everybody's not Red Alert, or DJ Sus One. I mean, those guys are on PLS and they're doing their thing. But you'll get there, brother. You'll get there. You just got to keep doing what you're doing, no matter how you feel. Just keep doing what you're doing. Because a lot of days I come on this radio game, and I don't. Someday but I can't let the listeners dictate what I do. You know, yeah, and a lot of people who hate too. A lot of hate, yeah, because there's a lot of DJs out there. You know, so I'm watching the shows and I'm looking at my old shows, and I'm, you know, and I am critiquing myself, like what I could do better, how, you know. But I never think like, okay, maybe I ought to be like everybody wants me to be, and maybe that'll. No, I can't do that. Can't do that. But you know, I look at other people like Stern and some of these other people. You know, I met Doug Banks. I met Doug Banks in Miami at a urban radio convention. Doug Banks, Steve Harvey, Michael Bazin was there. You know, and the other brother who just retired recently, the Fly Jock, was there. You know, and you know, and I learned a lot. You know, so I've been at work. Shout out to my boy Al Shaw Voiceovers, who he's on the station down there in Florida on the weekends. He's a weekend guy. And that's great. You know, I'm not saying I don't want to do that, but that's great that he's, you know, he was down. He was one of the people who I went to class. We went twice, and we saw. As a matter of fact, they had a screening of the movie that they did about oh God, my mind is like all over the place. But they did the movie about the rapper who got killed, and why can't I think of his name? I must be getting the young man's Alzheimer's or something. But they had some of the people were there. You know, Notori Norton was there, and when we went to the screening. And I'm looking at his face too. We went to the movie. They had a screening down there, courtesy of the people who produced the people who put together the convention. And they had a screening, and Notori Norton was there, and the brother who played Biggie. The brother who played Biggie was there, and there was a few other people who were there. What's her name wasn't there, who played Biggie's mom. I think it was, I can't think of her name right now. I'm losing it. It's a minute and a half before the hour. But yeah, she wasn't there, but the guy who played Biggie was there. Notori Norton, who played Lil' Kim, was there. And yeah, shout out to Al Voiceovers doing his thing on the radio down in Miami. It's a good thing. All right, so it's about a minute left to the program. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. Albert and Lamont Gates, and Joanne and Suzanne, and all of y'all who continue to support me. And, you know, and believe me, I'm going to take care of each every one of you when I get the $1 million contract. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. It's about less than a minute left to the program. He's back, so I'm back from vacation, and you know, I'm doing my thing. So I want to thank you, each and every one of you, even if you're not here tonight, who listen to the Ron Kelly Show on a regular basis. I appreciate it. Even if you just stop in every now and then, you know, the welcome mat is there for you. All right, so I'm about to break. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. The pop-up show, the pop-up edition of the Ron Kelly Show. Maybe I'll change it to Friday night. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Do take care of yourselves. Monitor your health. And remember that it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice, and that we may not have it all together, my people, Ronald McCready, thank you, brother. We may not have it all together, but together we can have it all. So thank you so much. And I think I am done.